Not everyone who enters your life is a blessing. Some are a test, and the hardest part, you don't always realize it in the beginning. Because sometimes the wrong one comes with excitement, with butterflies, with sweet words that feel endless. And sometimes the right one doesn't come with fireworks at all, just quiet signs that Allah placed right in front of you. The question is, do you notice them? Or do you keep chasing the people who were only sent as a test? There are 7 signs you cannot ignore. Some will comfort you, others will test you, but together, they might reveal the one Allah has written for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's begin. Sign 1. Shared deen and values. At the start, almost anyone can feel right. Attraction is loud, energy is high, and you convince yourself the small differences don't matter. But then life slows down, and suddenly those small things start speaking louder than the chemistry. You want honesty. They think lying about money is just being practical. You want simplicity. They need constant flexing. New car, new phone, new show for people. You want to build your salah on time. They treat salah like it's negotiable, something to do when convenient. At first, you tell yourself, it's not that deep, I can live with it. But a year later, it's not just a difference, it's a crack. And cracks don't stay small. The Prophet ﷺ said, people marry for many reasons, wealth, beauty, status, but choose the one who holds religion, or you'll regret it. And he wasn't just talking about labels. It's not about the bio that says Alhamdulillah or the Ramadan pictures. It's about what they actually live. Values aren't in words, they're in patterns. Do they make excuses or do they make salah? Do they spend to show off or to build something stable? Do they treat your dignity as trust or as leverage when they're angry? Here's the truth. Looks fade, sparks cool, energy changes. But values outlast everything. If you don't pray the same, you won't stay the same. If you don't believe the same, you won't build the same. And when Allah sends the right person, He aligns your direction. Not perfectly, not without flaws, but enough that you're walking toward Him together, not dragging each other in opposite ways. Because values aren't just about what someone believes. They show up in what they refuse to cross. That's the second sign. Sign 2, boundaries respected. Here's the real test most people ignore. What happens when emotions get high? Do they protect your red lines or push them? You'll know it in those quiet, risky moments. When someone says, just pick up, it's late, but who cares? Or, why bring your family in now? We're not kids. Or, if you really loved me, that's not love, that's pressure. And the more you give in, the heavier the guilt feels after. But when Allah sends the right person, the pattern flips. They don't use your feelings to break your guard. They use their taqwa to protect your dignity. Even if it risks losing you, they'd rather keep Allah. Even if it costs them the relationship, they'd rather keep the barca clean. That's how you know. Boundaries aren't up for negotiation. They're honored once, and they stay honored. Because the truth is simple. If love only survives by disobeying Allah, it isn't love, it's a trap. Sign 3, consistency over time. You know that feeling when someone shows up one day like you're their world, and the next day they vanish like you never existed? Hot today, cold tomorrow. 100 messages this week, silence the next. That's not love, that's confusion. And confusion is never a sign from Allah. The wrong one will make you question yourself every other day. Did I say something wrong? Did I push too hard? Am I the only one holding this up? That cycle eats you alive. One moment you feel chosen, the next you feel disposable. That's not how Allah reveals the one. Because when Allah sends the right person, they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be steady. You don't wake up wondering if they'll ghost you. You don't keep replaying old messages to see if you missed something. They're there, clear, respectful, consistent, not obsessive, not disappearing, just steady. And here's the truth. Promises don't prove anything. Consistency does. Anyone can say, "I'm serious about you." The real test is, do they show up again tomorrow and the day after that? Without games, without ghosting, without making your heart live in panic. Love from Allah doesn't come and go like a storm. It stays. Even when it's quiet, even when it's tested, it stays. Sign 4. Family ease. You can keep someone hidden for a while. You can make excuses, delete chats, cover your tracks. And for a moment, it feels like you're protecting the relationship. But deep down, you know you're just carrying guilt in your chest. Because love that only breathes in the dark eventually suffocates you. When Allah sends the right person, it doesn't mean every parent says yes instantly, or every uncle claps for joy. There can still be hesitation, questions, delays. But here's the difference. The path doesn't demand endless hiding. You don't have to live 2 lives, one for your family and one for your heart. The wrong one will keep you stuck in a cycle of secrecy. Not yet. Don't tell them. It'll ruin everything. The right one says, "Bring them in. Let's do this the clean way, even if it's slower, even if it's harder." And yes, sometimes that means a test. Sometimes a concern is raised. Sometimes a meeting is awkward. But at least it's real. At least it's in the open. At least it doesn't rot your soul. Because love that's written for you by Allah doesn't just survive when it's private. It survives when it's seen. It survives when the people who love you can witness it. Love that only survives in the dark, that's not a sign. That's a warning. Sign 5. Growth, not decay. Here's the sign most people ignore. What happens to you after they enter your life? Do you grow or do you shrink? Some people feel exciting at first, but months later, you realize your salah is weaker, your Quran is dustier, your heart feels heavier. You used to have energy for worship, but now most of your energy goes into hiding, lying, and recovering from guilt. That's not love, that's decay. But the right one, even before marriage, even in the way they carry themselves, makes you better. Not by preaching, but by presence. You pray on time more often. You feel dignity, not dirt. You wake up with more discipline, not less. You feel cleaner, lighter, stronger. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said, "The best of you are those who are best to their families." Notice, best, not worst. Real love from Allah makes you better than you were, not worse. So, test it honestly. Are you growing or decaying? If you're losing your habits, losing your focus, losing your dignity, that's not your soulmate. That's your nafs dressed up as one. If you're praying stronger, standing taller, and feeling purer, that's a sign. Because the one Allah sends will never shrink you. They'll stretch you into the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Sign 6. Ease in the path, but not without tests. One of the clearest signs comes in the tests. Not the easy days, but the days when something goes wrong. Because it always will. Maybe the family has a concern. Maybe the money isn't adding up. Maybe the job transfer happens right in the middle of planning. These are real-life problems. They come for everyone. The question is, how does the person handle it? The wrong one will turn every obstacle into chaos. They'll blame you, ghost you, or pressure you into crossing lines to keep them close. Every delay becomes an excuse to test your boundaries. Every concern becomes drama. But when Allah sends the right one, the test doesn't break you. It matures you. They don't shame you for not being perfect. They don't disappear when it gets tough. They stand with patience. They talk with respect. They plan with you instead of against you. The road might